Hello, friends. Greetings. Today we are going to look at James chapter 1 and a few verses for our devotion. This letter is written by James, and he writes it to the people that are dispersed, the Jewish believers, because of a persecution. They are dispersed. So he is writing to them. They say that it is a letter that is written to the diaspora, meaning the Jewish believers that are scattered. What is the message that he has for these people? Because they are scattered due to suffering, and he has something to say about suffering. And in James chapter 1, verse 2, he says, "Count it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials." And that is the message that he has. In the trials, he says there are many kinds of trials and various colors of trials. And when you encounter them, and he says, count it for joy. The immediate question that we could ask is, why should I be joyful when I encounter trials? And he has an answer for that. And he says, in the midst of trial, when your faith gets tested, in verse 3, it produces endurance. Friends, endurance is the most important thing. To stay under or to abide in a situation. And I mean, to abide in a situation, which means that you are not impulsive in your nature. You're not wanting to do your own things. Proverbs 3, verse 5. And you are trusting in God. You're wanting God to kind of like divide the Red Sea. And you have tremendous strength to stay under. And that gets worked in the midst of trials. Your only dependence is on God. And you want God to move in that situation. And he says, count it for all joy, because that is what is going to be produced in the midst of endurance. And he doesn't stop there. Look what he is saying, verse 4. And he has a counsel to you. Let that endurance have perfect result in you. I mean, allow that endurance to be complete in you through the trial. And then he says, so that you will never lack anything. So when that endurance gets worked in you perfectly, and you wouldn't lack anything, which means like you're going to be a complete man, right? You're going to be the man that God intended in that particular situation. And he has another counsel to you. What is the most crucial thing that you need in the midst of trial? I think wisdom. And he says in verse 5, if anybody that lacks wisdom in the midst of trial, let him ask God. How simple is it? Right? And he says that God is going to give you generously. You need wisdom. He's not going to give you an installment scheme, and he gives it generously. That is the nature and character of God. And then he says that without reproach, meaning he is not going to be hard on you. He's not going to be scolding you. Oh, don't you understand? How many times should I tell you? And without reproach, right? Without rebuking you. And he admires you asking wisdom in the midst of trials, right? What to do, how to stay under, how to abide. And God, who is going to give you generously without reproach, and it will be given to you. What a beautiful God we have. So let's not doubt this God in our prayer life. And let's understand the nature and character of God. And let's come under the counsel of the word of God spoken by James through the inspiration of his spirit, and be benefited by it. So you have a great day. Thank you so much.